Hey guys, Karasif here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe DonBrothers Narikiri set from Avataro Sentai DonBrothers. This is a 2-pack that includes the DonBrothers Changer, the DonBlaster, as well as the belt, the Donbura Buckle. In addition, the set includes 6 Avataro gears, 2 that originally came with the blaster, and 4 that originally came with the buckle, as well as a set of belt straps. So, let's get started. First up, we'll take a look at this year's collectible gimmick item, the Avataro gears, which are similar to last year's Sentai gears, but done up in the same shape as the DonBrothers Sentai gear that came with Don Zenkaio. The only difference being that instead of the chrome face, they now have these stickers on them, each depicting the character that they're used for. First up, we have the Momotaro Gear. And for those wondering why I am using Don instead of Don, it has to do with the team in the name. So, DonBrothers is based on the Japanese folktale of Momotaro, the Peach Boy. And the name DonBrothers actually comes from that story itself, where the first line in the actual story is DonBurako or DonBurakoko, which is used to describe a peach flowing down a river. So that's where that name actually comes from, plus of course brothers. So yes, I'll be continuing to use the whole Don thing instead of Don. So we can see Don Momotaro depicted here. And yes, it is a sticker, but thankfully, as you can tell, each sticker is protected by this clear plastic piece, so that they aren't likely to get damaged or scratched. Similar to the one that came with Don Zenkaio, the Avataro gears are basically one side, but they are also compatible with Enyaridon as well as one other item in the series. The second one is the first Senpai or Legend Sentai Avataro gear for Zenkaiser. You can see right there. Next, we have our Blue Ranger, Saru Brother, based on the monkey that Momotaro befriends. Then the Yellow Ranger, Oni Sister, who's based on one of the Oni that Momotaro went off to fight. After that is Inu Brother, based off the dog that Momotaro befriends. And lastly is Kiji Brother, based off the pheasant that Momotaro befriends, and is the first official proper male Pink Ranger in Super Sentai. Next we have the DonBlaster. So it's this yellow and red gun, which first off has this gear-like section which will be used to spin the gears put into it. Has some nice chrome similar to the Avataro gears, as well as the DonBrothers symbol within it. Got this space here, which is where you'll put the gears. And this is going to be the lever to remove them. Power switch back here, triggers down here. Then for other details, we have this part along the top, which wraps around and looks like sunglasses. Got a button on top, as well as the barrels, which are decorated with stickers. Now, the little gimmick here is a little movement gimmick, where by spinning this gear here, it causes the barrels to move in and out. Just like that. On the back we have the speaker, and the battery cover, and this takes 2 AAA batteries. So on its own, by switching it on, it'll make that sound. And there's a couple things you can do, is that by pulling the trigger you get a basic firing sound, and pressing and holding the trigger will get you a rapid fire sound. And you can push the button on top, but it doesn't do anything unless you have a gear activated. Then the last part of the set is the Donbura Buckle. Now, as a lot of you can probably already tell, this is basically just a retool of last year's Zenkai Buckle / Tukai Buckle, with the main difference being the cover, which now has this chrome silver peach instead of the chrome gold V from before. And because of that, it does act as a very strong mirror, so I'm doing my best to avoid pointing it at myself. It has a lot of same details as well, and like with both those buckles, you can just pull on this flap, and then they'll open up where you can store up to 6 Avataro gears, or Sentai gears since they have the same shape. We'll just fit these in. Like so, and we can close it back up. And then we have the belt straps, which are the typical fare for Sentai belts, where you have a left and right strap. So, pull in one like that until this part is out of there. Take the other side, push it in the other way. Then lifting up that, you want to interlock them in the back. And set on the belt stoppers. Connect in the back. And then simply loop around the belt stoppers to hold it in place. So there we have the complete Donbura Buckle. Unfortunately, because this is the Sentai type of belt strap, which is thinner than the ones for rider belts, there is no way it's going to fit around most adult waists, so that part is really only meant for kids, and it is unfortunate that there still isn't any kind of Sentai belt extender. Next, we can use our Avataro gears with the DonBlaster. We'll start off with Don Momotaro. To do this, first you want to set it in like this, and make sure it's closed on the top and bottom. And there we'll start by giving this a spin. Then a few more spins. And there we have the transformation into Don Momotaro. So I'll show you guys that one more time. Though this does kind of highlight one of the little downsides I have about this toy, which is how the spinning of the gear doesn't match up perfectly with the in and out motion of the barrels. So one full rotation doesn't get back to the same position. The little trick you can do is that by removing the gear, and you do this by pulling out like this, which will pop out the gear, you can actually reset back to any position you want. And this thing will not act like the gear was removed, because it really doesn't know if the gear is being activated or not until these buttons are hit. And there we have the special attacks. You want to activate that by pressing this button. Have a flip trigger. We'll get the basic special attack, but we can also power it up. give it a spin. And we get this standby sound. Then we can spin a few times and even scratch it like a record on a turntable. We can do that one more time. It'll also sometimes at the end of it make that sound, which equates to all's well that ends well. I've noticed there's also this little part in the center of the button. This is not an LED, but rather an IR transmitter, which will be used later with Don Momotaro's main weapon, the Zangla sword, which should be coming out this month if it hasn't already come out by the time I release this video. So, we'll then remove the gear. And move on to Saru Brother. And so, as you could hear, the different rangers actually have different standby phrases, as well as different phrases at the end of the transformations. We again have the special attack. Unfortunately, it's the same for all of them, so I'll be skipping that from here on in. Next is Oni Sister. Then Inu Brother. And as you can kind of tell, sometimes if you're not careful enough, the gear might skip a little bit. I don't think that's going to break it, but it does kind of interrupt the main action. Then Kiji Brother. And lastly, Zenkaiser. And here we have the gimmick for the gears from before, or from previous Sentai, which is that they can actually play the transformation sounds from their changes. In this case, we got the Zenkaiger Avatar change, which played the transformation sound from the Geartlinger. With the caveat that these transformation sounds only go back as far as Gokaiger, anything before that has a generic sound. After that, I'll show you guys how the DonBlaster is also backwards compatible with last year's Sentai gears. So, for some examples, first off we have the original Zenkaiser gear. And that's the same sound you get from the Zenkaiser Avataro gear. And for anyone wondering if you unlock extra sounds by using the back sides of the Sentai gears, Bandai actually thought of that and made it so that the reverse sides make the same sound as the front sides, so no cheating there. Then Zenkai Juran, and I'm just using him because the other four main rangers all make the same sound. So it sounds a little bit different from that of Zenkaiser's gear. Then we have 2 Kaiser. And so we get that, and that sound is also the generic sound I was talking about earlier for any pre-Gokaiger Sentai. And the last example I'll use is Stay Caesar. On the flip side, for anyone curious if the Geartlinger is forwards compatible with Avataro gears, the answer is yes and no. For the yes side, we can use the Zenkaiser Avataro gear. So obviously it makes the Zenkaiser gear sounds. However, we use something like the Momotaro Gear. It doesn't work, meaning that they also pretty smartly used unused patterns in the Geartlinger for some of the newer kind of, or rather for the Avatar gears that are of characters and things exclusive to DonBrothers. Finally, we can also use the DonBrothers Sentai gear that came with Don Zenkaio with the DonBlaster. So we get an alternate version of the transformation sounds for Don Momotaro, but with some bike sounds at the end. And there we go. Overall, this is a good set to start your collection off with. You get, of course, the changer as well as the buckle for storage, along with the gears for the 5 main rangers, as well as one, kind of previous Sentai Avatar change gear. And it is interesting that they kind of continued a similar gimmick as the previous year's Sentai with the Avataro gears. But that also means that you can actually put your previous Sentai gear collection to use with this, which is a really nice thing. It means that while they are releasing, of course, additional Avataro gears for the previous Sentai, if you don't want to buy those and you already have some of the Sentai gears that can go along with it, then it means that you have the option of not having to spend as much on these gears as you might have to if there weren't any Sentai gears released before. Not to mention, there is a little bit of additional playability that's yet to be seen because of how the Zanglass sword hasn't been released yet. So I will be bringing this in when I eventually review that. But overall, if you're a fan of the DonBrothers, this is definitely a good set to start with, and I highly recommend it. Next time, I'll be looking at the Change Heroes figures for the 5 DonBrothers. So, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KR50, signing off.